welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about the film Lightyear. This is the movie by Pixar Animations that basically tells the story of Buzz Lightyear. This is the film that made Andy buy Buzz the toy. It literally starts that way. It's literally in I think it said like 1994, 95. This movie was the film that Andy watched that inspired him to, or got him to buy the Buzz Lightyear toy, or got it for his birthday. And yeah, so we get to see the film that Andy saw. It's one of those fun things. And kind of, so to start off, the way I perceived this film, because since we live in the age of internet, it was already, sadly, it was getting like mediocre reviews and stuff like that, and it's disappointing when you get early stuff like that, right? So you kind of get this preconception of a film going into it. So for me, like, one, I was kind of like looking forward to seeing this film already. I was like, okay, I want to see what this movie entails, because there was a Buzz Lightyear, a Star Command cartoon that I used to watch. So I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do with this this like animated version, like full, and see what they're gonna do. From the trailers, so like there's like this weird time travel dilation thing, all this crazy. So I'm like, what is this movie gonna entail? So, and like I said, going into this film, it was already like, I already felt like I already had a low expectation. But you know what? And on top of that, it's one of the films. It's a Pixar film, so there's like a standard when going into Disney and Pixar films. Like, there's a level of standards you have in your head of like these types of films, because so many of them come out so well or good or average that sometimes when to a critic, like I'm like a below average critic, honestly. Like I give my thoughts and stuff like that. I do my best to view everything with a level of criticism, but I still want to give my thoughts, that, you know, because at the end of the day, be it televisions or series or a film, I just want to be entertained, and I want to let the people know if it was entertaining for me. So I'm going to state this. When I left the theater after watching Lightyear, I was fully entertained with this movie. So once again, Pixar does a great job. The animation's great. Having Chris Evans play as Buzz Lightyear, for the most part, I never really noticed that Buzz Lightyear was not being voiced by Tim Allen at all. Like it for a moment I was like trying to like listen for it, but after a while, like, Chris Evans just like was Buzz Lightyear, and like that really did a good job for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is Buzz. And there's so many fun little quirks and references to the movies, because the toy of Buzz does a lot of things that he thinks he's a real being. So you would think like this Buzz, the movie Buzz, would do the same thing just because of his counterpart. So yeah, it's some fun little references. It's really great. And then going into the plot a little bit, I'm not gonna go full spoilers. I'm just gonna do basic plot from what the trailers gave away. So they end a little bit in the beginning. So they end up on a mission on this giant spaceship that is dubbed the Turnip. They end up on a planet that they find life forms. They're going to investigate it. Him and his partner, what was the name of his partner? Alicia Hawthorne, the commanding officer. They go down, investigate, and a little bit of comedy and some fun references ensue, and they have to make an emergency exit. Something happens, and they're marooned on that planet for the most part, and Buzz takes it truly like it's his fault. So they end up trying to acquire a new fuel, and through the process of them trying to acquire light speed travel again, it turns out that every time he does the tests, like time just rushes forward to him. Like every time he does a mission, which takes for him about 4 to 5 minutes, like four years go by. And so this is how you get this weird like future time travel thing. And like, oh, so that's kind of what's happening. So it's like, okay, so this is how the story begins. And it's really a good like emotional part during the first half of the film. So that's kind of the only thing I'll talk about there. But I like that concept that Buzz is trying to fix his mistake, and this is how he's doing it. Doing every mission, and it's just costing him like time, basically. Then insanity ensues when he goes like further and further into the future, and he finally gets the thing, the fuel source, and they're attacked by none other than Emperor Zurg. And everyone knows that toy. I think it was from Toy Story 2. I believe that's when he's properly introduced. I think he's mentioned it in the Toy Story 1, but I think he's like properly introduced in Toy Story 2. But yeah, it's just this crazy like ragtag group of like wannabe space rangers. The thing is, this film does not do a great job with like with a subcast. That like some of the, I honestly, if I wasn't looking at them, I could not remember most of the supporting cast. Like the only character that I could remember was the animal support, Socks, just because he was a very fun like comedy relief character. Some of the other like sub characters, like the granddaughter, Hawthorne's granddaughter, she had some quirks. Then there's like the goofy, I'm trying to remember now, the goofy like person who just wants to give up, and then an old convict. Like that's kind of the only way I can remember them. I can't honestly remember their names. They each have their own little quirks, but they never really, for me, shined out. Like it was mostly always Buzz and Socks, and that's kind of really it. And for the most part, the plot's pretty like standard, simple, like standard A, B, and C. A very interesting very interesting third act twist. Like it was great. I was like, whoa, okay. And that's kind of what drove the film for me a little bit for what it was. Like, this is where they're going with it. I like it. It's interesting. And it made me like the film a little bit more than I thought it would. Because for the most part, like I said, I was enjoying the film. And for being a film, like, I think it's like just shy of 2 hours or something. I think it's like an hour and 40 or something. Like just under 2 hours. Like it was just like fun to watch, and I generally would watch this again. For sure, I'm glad I watched it in the cinema, but it's also a movie that it could have been on Disney Plus and I would have watched it. Like I would rewatch it again on Disney Plus immediately. Immediately? Maybe if my nephew was around, I would rewatch it immediately. Because it's such a fun film. Space, and like a whole bunch of just sci-fi in general. It's just a fun sci-fi animated movie. And yeah. So it's a fun film. I just wish the supporting cast was a little bit more memorable. The plot, for the most part, like I said, there was nothing really huge to complain, but there was nothing there's nothing that really made this stand out for what Pixar films are, because there had some emotional levity, but nothing like struck me as some other Pixar films do. This one was just like, okay, I see. I enjoyed it. like I said, saying that makes it sound like it's a bad film, but no, like I can see critically why some people are giving it a more mediocre score. But at the end of the day, when you sit down to watch this film and you go through the entire film and come out, I think you'll be well entertained. Like, it's just a fun film, a few laughs here and there. It just, for like I mentioned, like it just needs a little bit more. It needed a little bit more touch on some of the subcast. Like I enjoyed seeing like the story of Buzz and the story they were working with of the thought of how you handle time, the people around you, stuff like that. But it just, you didn't really give a lot for the people around you, like, to care about them. So it's like, okay. But yeah, like at the end of the day, yeah, it was a fun film, and I'm like glad I watched it. I might go rewatch it again with my nephew before it leaves cinema. Like, it's one of those things that's just worth at least watch for the kids. Like, for sure, it's a great kids film, and yeah. Nothing else more to say. I'm gonna give you my final verdict on this thing. For this one, I am gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10. It was a good movie. It's a good movie. Like I said, if it had a little bit more, like if it helped me care about a little bit more of the cast besides Buzz, I would care a little bit more, because the rest of the team has some fun quirks. It's just like at the end of the day, I just didn't care about it. It was really just Buzz Lightyear and Socks, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But as a film, you know, you kind of go back and forth with some of the characters, and every time you were with the other characters for any amount of time, you just really didn't care too much about them. And yeah, 7 out of 10. So let me know what you guys thought about Lightyear. Did you guys get to watch it? Did you guys like it? Did you like all the fun references? The only thing is, I kind of sadly missed the after credits, which is disappointing, because I didn't think I would have to sit, because there's a mid credits right after the animated credits before the traditional ones, and then there's an after credits, and like, really, come on, why? So as always, you can leave a comment down below if you are following me on Twitter or Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a comment down below. So until next time, see ya. See ya. See ya.